Alright, welcome back everyone. So this is day number 4 of the coding experiment, and just a quick update on what's going on. Now I did accidentally spill the container from Moes, so there's no more in here, and so this wasn't really doing much anyways, but it just left a thin film in here. You can kind of see it, so I don't know if it was actually ever going to get hard like some of these other ones. So that's what's going on with Moes. Again, we've already seen these harden up. I'll just let them continue to harden over the next week that these are going on. So for once a week at 7 days, and then we'll come back and see how they feel at that after that 7-day time frame to see if they've gotten any harder and if the consistency's changed a bit. So we'll come back and look at those. We'll kind of just put those aside for now, and we'll look at the ones that we have left. So we'll start off with EXO, and EXO is starting to harden as well. You can see it's still somewhat flexible, and it's still wet underneath. Let's see if I can kind of look and see what's going on here. There's not a lot of material on the back of it. It's just taking a slower time to harden up compared to some of these other ones. And so again, it's still staying flexible. I don't know if the bottom is still wet. I think it is. It's a little wet. I just poked a hole in here, so it's a little wet. So I just poked a hole to see if I can get some more air in there and kind of harden this up a little faster. We've got Crystal Serum Light. This one's staying cloudy and it's not really doing anything. It just got the little piece of film in the middle, and that's about it. So I don't know if this one's ever gonna get there. We'll see at the very end. We've already looked at UK 3.0. Let's look at the Sequartz Classic, which is right here, or TiO2. This one's starting to harden in there. There wasn't I didn't have a lot of product in there, so it formed a thin disc, which is what you're gonna get when you apply and paint anyways. So look how clear that looks compared to some of these other ones that were applied thicker in the container, and so that they're thicker and they're really harder to see the clarity of the material. But this one looks really clear because there was actually not a lot of product in there. So I'm going to see if I can pull out the disc in there, so you can kind of tell since it was pretty thin, it's pretty flexible. Again, in reality, when you apply this to paint, it's going to be a thin layer. We've already looked at UK. We'll come back and look at that. We've got Moes that was dumped out, so let me just set this one aside. And then we'll come over to Can Coat. And Can Coat, I pulled it out yesterday after I filmed the video to see if I can let this harden up, and it did, but it turned white, which is interesting. And so it's like it doesn't feel like a quartz, it feels like a powdered quartz, and you kind of see it almost looks powdery in my hand, but it has this white color to it. So that's what's going on with that, but at least we know that Can Coat does harden, but it just looks different than the coating. It's not optically clear. On paint it is, but that's what's going on with this. So it's actually got a nice little disc. So again, which makes sense. This is not expected to be harder than or as hard as some of these other coatings. So that's what's going on with those, and that's pretty much it. So we'll keep an eye on the remaining two, which is those two from G-Technic, and we'll go from there. And then after 7 days, we'll come back and do our final thoughts and see if these other ones that have already hardened up, crystallized, if they've gotten harder as time goes on. So stay tuned for follow-up video, and thanks for watching.